I genuinely get tons of messages every single day asking me to do a full video running through step by step the full freelance brand scaling course, pretty much how to go from zero clients, never even delved into the business model at all, to all the way to having a scaled agency or being what is called a freelancer. So delving right into it. So I thought, why not make a tutorial for you guys, have it all in one place so you can watch this video from start to finish and understand the full process. If there is anything I have missed, do drop a comment down below. I am responding to absolutely all messages that I get. This is going to be all the information that you need in one place. Freelance brand scaling is basically running paid advertisements across apps like Meta and TikTok for predominantly clothing brands. There are a number of niches that you can delve into and run ads for, but the main one is definitely clothing brands, given how easy it is to outreach to them, how many of them there are, and how easy the payment structure can be while targeting clothing brands. You can target any brand online that is selling a product, let's say for example a clothing brand or any e-commerce brand at all, or you can target any businesses that needs leads for their service. The questions in my DM touch on what does the payment structure look like, how do I get paid, and I'm going to cover that in that video for you guys today. So essentially with the payment structure, there's two ways you can do it. So you can do what is called a monthly retainer, or you can do a profit share, like a revenue percentage of sales share, basically is what I like to call it, commission-based pay. With regards to the retainer, pretty much what it is an X amount per month that they would pay you, a flat rate for running the ads. This could be 1K, 1.5K USD around that point, and you would not charge any type of percentage on top of that. You would just take the monthly retainer. The second option would be having a monthly retainer. Second option would be doing a percentage of sales. So pretty much this is what I opt for most of my clients. Let's say, for example, if you decided to opt for probably a 10 to 15% of sales, I personally opt for the 15. Let's say, for example, if I make them a K, they give me $150. Obviously, you can only imagine, let's say, for example, if you're making the brand, I don't know, 30, 40, even 50K a month, how big that percentage of what you get paid would look like. Times that by 10 when you have 10 clients, and you can easily scale this business model up very, very nicely. In the next bit of the video, I'm going to go over how to sign your first client, exactly how to leverage conversation with that client, and what a good clothing brand that you should want to outreach to would look like. I'm going to be sharing with you the main way that I get clients and how to kind of get your Instagram to give you a plethora of clients every time you jump back on. So basically the main way that you're going to find clients either on Instagram or TikTok is by utilizing what's called a burner account. Pretty much what a burner account for me is I've got a second account, like not my main account, and I just follow loads of clothing brands on it, and in turn I interact with just solely clothing brands, hashtag clothing brands, like all the posts that are inside that. I like every single brand's post that I find. Let's say if I'm scrolling on the For You page or the Explore page, I'll go through like different brands' posts. All of my reels in turn are now solely just clothing brands, and everything on my Explore page is literally just clothing brands. Let's say, for example, on TikTok, you can do the exact same thing. You can then scrape the leads pretty much off TikTok and then take them back onto Instagram and then outreach to them on both Instagram and what's called TikTok too. Also, you can do, like, let's say, for example, if you find a brand, like let's say in this situation, this is a really good example of a brand. I'm going to be going through why in a second. You could outreach to them on DM here, and then you could also click one follow. Obviously, I would say that's the guy's personal account who runs it. You can literally slide through and also DM him there too. Make it personalized, make it worthwhile, because obviously, these brands are getting a lot of DMs. You do want to stand out. You don't want to be, 1 in 20,000 people that are DMing them, because these brands are getting a lot of DMs. I'm a clothing brand owner myself, and I can tell you that I am genuinely getting 20 DMs a day. You guys are not the only person that is going to be outreaching to this person, even that day, let alone that month, let alone overall. So make yourself stand out. So yeah, this is exactly what a good brand looks like, and I'm going to go through the reasons why and break it down for you exactly. So as you can see here, the page looks super professional. It looks clean. It looks like a really good brand. So you've got the clean logo. You've got good social proof. For a brand to be able to run ads and for it to be the most successful, in my experience, the biggest numbers that I've done have been with brands with an existing social proof. It generates trust. And when people go on to, let's say, go to purchase, or if you're running engagement ads and they come across the Instagram, they'll feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they've got 43K, 15K, rather than, 400 followers or something like that. So we've got family. This is a big trust factor that I really like. They've got a lot of, let's say, for example, people who've been in their clothes, people who've been wearing their clothes, influencers, etc. You can see how many highlights that they actually have on here. And this is given a trust reason because people actually receive their orders. People actually wear this brand, and it is a trustworthy brand because they're getting their orders. One of the biggest things that I find with clothing brands is that people are traumatized from no shippers. So brands that take money and either no ship, or brands that, let's say, for example, ship, do pre-order, and it takes like 13 weeks to get to the customer. People are not going to be happy with that. So this part as well, shipping, generates even more trust. So this is all good. Social proof and trust on top of the way the brand looks is even better. Also, what we've got here, I come straight on here and I can see that the brand images are very clean. You've got the flat lays that look good. You've got a good amount of engagement on here. You've got nearly 2k likes. You've got nearly 400 comments, and the flat lays just look good. You can use these for your ads as well. So let's say if you was to work with this brand, you could do existing reels or existing posts. So it gives you a lot of room with regards to what you can use. Again, this is very nice. We've got on body again, flat lays. We've got, these are very, very nice. I'm not gonna lie, these just caught my eye. But yeah, this is, all of the product images on here are very nice and you could definitely use them. They're simple, but they're definitely effective. Moving on to the reel side of things, also, they've got consistent reels going out. Consistency is something that I look for when I outreach to a brand, because let's say, for example, if they're only posting, once every 4 weeks, it's not as effective as if they're posting every day, every 2 days whilst I'm on and running the ads as well. You want meta and you want the Instagram Reels organic to go together as one. It's not always about having the most views every single time. It's more about consistency. So obviously in your case, if this is a smaller brand that you're outreaching to, you want to see consistent views. So here, like 11k, 12k, 13k, 13k, it's all around the same point. It's very consistent, which shows that the consumer base who is looking at this genuinely rocks with their product. Like you can see here, 9k, 8k, 120k. You could use a retargeting campaign on that, for example, but they're all relatively around the same kind of point in terms of views, which is very, very good. Tag, they've got people wearing the clothes, which is really nice. All of this above generates a lot of good trust. One thing that you need to be comfortable with as well is that the products that you outreach to, you don't necessarily have to like them for them to be a good, desirable product. So let's say, for example, for me personally, I typically wouldn't wear something like this because it's not really my style, but I would wear something like the black hair or the grey hair 100%. But objectively, I can look at this product and I can see that this product is very desirable for the market. So the next steps, obviously, for you guys when entering the business model, if you're not really familiar with clothes, is to understand the market, understand what is desirable for the consumer base, and get a good eye for that over time. Now, what I'm going to show you guys how to do is how to outreach, how to get this brand's attention, and what that would look like. So let's say, for example, if we click through to messages. Now I'm going to use this brand as an example right here. So let's say, for example, I shoot them across a DM. There's multiple different ways that you can do outreach. I typically would opt for the DM method, or I would opt for a couple different methods that I do. I don't really tend to outreach at the moment because I get a lot of inbound through personal brand, more so my agency having a presence, a lot through referrals as well. So this say here, for example, is a good outreach message, and I'm going to explain why. So I think a lot of people make mistakes, and the mistakes that they make lean towards, let's say, for example, trying to compliment the person's product prior to them pitching to them. That would feel like fake love towards the brand owner. And I don't think their response will be as inclined to close, more so because they feel like it's false love and they're not actually, you're not actually wanting to work, you're not actually wanting to show love to the brand. You're actually wanting to get their attention and then pitch to them. So in my experience, it works better to go straight into pitching, be upfront and honest, state exactly what your offer is, and make it a no-brainer for them. So I can double your current rev per month at no cost upfront, meaning zero risk for you. How does that sound? What I would change about this is probably how does that sound rather than for you and to you, because I don't really like the way that reads. But it's still, we can definitely use this as an example. So you're going into it, you're stating what you can do. So I can actually double your revenue per month. I can do that for a fact. And I can also do it at completely zero cost upfront. At the end of the day, a lot of people that are in the ad space and running ads will be charging a retainer. I charge a retainer of 1.5k, 2k upwards for some clients, depending on obviously scope of the project, etc., etc. So really, you're competing with someone who's going to be charging them 1k, 1.5k, etc. A lot of the time, if it's an agency that has good results, a large agency, they're going to be charging retainers because they should. You've got leverage, one, because of the fact that you're new, that you can do, let's say, for example, the 10% of sales, the 15% of sales. That's basically what no cost upfront means. You don't get paid anything unless you generate them funds. You directly do not get paid unless you generate them funds. That means the risk is all on yourself to deliver. You can also frame it to the prospect as, because I'm not getting paid at all, like I generally have massive incentive to deliver. Also, being completely honest and upfront with you, I am doing this in return for a case study with the goal of a long-term partnership, and I have even bigger incentive to deliver then. So it's all about framing it. You could do anything as long as you frame it in a way that makes it sound positive. Yes, I've got no results. Yes, you're one of my first clients, but here's the reasons why I'm going to deliver for you, and I have to. So no upfront cost is basically a different way of saying free. Free will put them off and make them feel skeptical, is what I found before. And you're reiterating the fact that it means zero risk for them. As long as they have zero risk, in their mind, it becomes a no-brainer. Why would I not do it then? You know, if there's no risk on me for the situation that I'm in or the decision I'm going to make, why not? Let's just see what happens. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the way and the take that people will be on when you're presenting this offer to them. One thing I will say as well for reference is don't be going for brands with low followers. So let's say, for example, 500 followers, just because you think that it's going to be easy to sign them because other people aren't outreaching to them. I can tell you for a fact other people are outreaching to them, but what they're not realizing is that at that stage in the clothing brand journey that this person's at, it is very difficult to run ads for brands that don't have good social proof. Again, reiterating on the fact that don't just sign clients to get a case study as such, because if the client doesn't have, I don't know, let's say, for example, a good product, if the client doesn't have a good amount of social proof, you're signing them as an easy way to get a case study, but you will not be able to deliver for them, so you've wasted both parties' times. Ensure that what I've gone through in the call, the checklist of good social proof, good engagement, etc., before you even outreach to the prospect, check that they satisfied that. So when they reply, it's a case of, right, we can get straight into the call because you already know that they qualify. Rather than mass sending DMs and you don't know whether this client is even going to qualify, if what their product even looks like, it's going to be a big waste of time for you when you're booking in calls and you've realized that you can't deliver for this client. So your goal, obviously, when you're outreaching would literally be to get the first 1 to 2 case studies under your belt. So then you can build out, let's say, for example, a case studies list or a full breakdown of your case study. So next time when you go and outreach to, you go and send those 50 to 60, 70 DMs, you've got actual proof of concept. As soon as you've got results to show, it's way easier to close people because the trust is there. If you're saying to people, look, I'm going to double your revenue, I'm going to do this, that, and the third, but you don't actually have any case studies, you've got to kind of wait for the right time where someone's going to take a chance on you to enable you to, run their ads at no cost up front. And then obviously from there, it's your chance, right? You've got your foot in the door. I'm going to obtain a case study from this. I'm going to sign another client and obtain a case study. And then I've got my 2 case studies. Then from there, it's easier to sign more clients because you've got proof of concept. And then from there, you just build up every single time you land a client, you get more and more case studies and it just adds to it. It gets a lot easier every time. One thing I will say is if you are sending a lot of DMs, let's say, for example, if you sent 100 DMs and you haven't even got a response, or 100 DMs and you've got 2 responses and now they're ghosting you and not responding, do not be put off by this. You have to persist. The main thing that I've learned with this business model, and especially doing any type of outreach, whether that was my organic agency, whether that's my paid offer that I'm doing right now, was that it is a numbers game. The more DMs you send, the more likely you are to sign a client. For reference, right now, someone on my program, I honest to God think he sent about 300 DMs. People were responding, people were leaving him on scene. He now signed this week a client with 139K on Instagram, and now he's running their ads. So proof is in the pudding. Consistency will always win, regardless of if you're getting responses. If you're not getting responses, tweak your script, change a new script, but don't give up. Don't stop sending those DMs, and don't give up on, signing that first client, because it is possible. It's just difficult at the first hurdle, where people had to take that chance on you where you have no case studies. Word of advice to you guys is you want to be sending about 50 to 70 DMs a day. What I'm seeing a lot of people doing, which is wrong, is basically sitting there mass sending, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and sending the same message to 70 people, 50 people directly in a row. What I've noticed and experienced with this, when I've done that myself, obviously early days, was that they would basically suspend you as such for about 24 hours. And if you persist to keep sending DMs, like appearing like a bot, that's why they block it, they will then ban your account long term. So what I would suggest, obviously, to combat this would to be send 15 DMs, switch up your script. Send 20 DMs, switch up your script. 20 DMs, switch up your script, and just kind of block out the outreaching over the course of the day. So let's say, for example, if like morning time you wake up, 20 DMs, midday you're doing something or other, 20 DMs, in the nighttime, 20 DMs. Split out that 20 DMs across the day. One, it will feel a lot more reachable, and two, it will enable your account to not get banned. So remember, switch up the script every 20 DMs, 25 DMs. Two, take breaks from sending out the DMs. Don't just do it all in one go, because you genuinely will get banned. The amount of times that I've heard this now is crazy, and I've done it myself 2-3 times now, and I was worried that my account was going to get banned. I'm going to run you through and expose the exact script that I use whenever I'm onboarding clients, whenever I'm closing clients at all on this call. So basically the way it will work for you guys is you'll do the outreach. Your intention is obviously to get the client or the prospect booked in for a call, and on that call you would pitch your services, you would enable them to ask you absolutely any questions they want, and then you'll get the contract and etc. and the whole onboarding process done. So I am reading off a script, by the way, but I'm going to relay to you guys exactly what I personally use. So you want to jump on the call, you want to greet them, and you want to have a slight small talk. Let's say, for example, if you say, how's your day been, etc., you get into a little bit of conversation about that. Warm up to them, be friendly. And the main thing that I would say to you guys as well is be confident. I know it's difficult when you're taking your first calls. I remember when I took my first calls, I was shaking, I was nervous, I was speaking really fast, and I was in a rush. I did not close the prospect. They probably thought that I didn't know a word of what I was talking about, and they could tell that I was nervous. So slow down. Try and be as most confident as you can, and really listen to what the prospect is saying on this call, and come across as that you're understanding, you're listening, and in turn, you know what you're talking about. Inside the small talk section, obviously at the start, the intro, the greet, the small talk, whatever you want to call it, you need to be kind of giving off the good energy when you jump on call with this client. So whenever I jump on call with a prospect to close them or anyone at all, I always make sure that my energy is really high. So I jump on, yo, how you doing? Amazing. Because you want to come across as, you're bringing that energy towards them, and you're also excited to work with them, and you're also excited to bring them that results. When you're bringing that energy, that you're excited and you're happy to work, they're only going to bounce off that, and you guys are going to hit that off. Obviously, then you want to set the frame for the call. So this would be the intro. In the intro, I basically talk about, I frame the call and why we're on here and what we're going to be talking about today. So basically what I would say to them is, look, I just wanted to jump on call. I wanted to understand a little bit more about your brand's background. I wanted to understand what you've currently got in place for your marketing at the moment. And more importantly, I wanted to see if we could actually help you, because we can't help all brands. Then obviously you're talking about the fact that you want to understand their background, which means you have interest in understanding where they're at, where they want to be. Can you help them? You're also slightly disqualifying them in the process of saying that, which basically means that you cannot help all brands, but you can help some. So it makes them feel like there's a qualification process that they kind of have to go through, to make sure they're the right fit as such, if that makes sense. So it's not that you're just taking on any person that comes your way. You do actually have to vet them and see if you can help them as well. So this makes them feel then they have to qualify, if that makes sense. This is also a good opportunity to highlight to them that, you know, you're there. They can ask you absolutely any questions. If they have any concerns, if they have anything that would make them feel more comfortable, let you know. Do you know what I mean? So the way I would frame the call would be, I just wanted to jump on, hear more about your brand, see if I'm the right fit for you. Most importantly, see if we really click and you feel comfortable with me running your ads. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is going to be a partnership. Ideally for you, you want the partnership to be long term. So you want your prospect to feel comfortable with you. You want you guys to get on that level before you start moving into the business space. There are a few questions that I do ask them when I do jump on the initial closing call. I do ask them, so number one would be, how long have you been running your brand? This just gives me like a clear idea of, okay, like he's been running his brand for 3 years. He's at X amount a month, which obviously I ask as well. So how much are you currently doing in sales per drop? Just so I can get the full picture of, you know, where are they at right now? Because if they're at 10K organic, like not even doing ads, we can definitely get them to 20K with ads. Or let's say, for example, if they're at 10K and they're using ads, but their ads aren't performing well, I can come in, and that's why me and my team can come in and alter what they've currently got going on, optimize what they've currently got on, you know, with new strategies done by myself. And we can even go higher than 10K to, I don't know, 15, 20 plus. A lot of the clients that I do jump on with have had other agencies run their ads before, or maybe they've tried to run their ads before themselves and it's not been super successful. So looking at what they've done that didn't work and having a clear understanding of what you can do to make it work and what strategies you can bring is very, very helpful. I do also ask them as well, have you ever run Facebook/Instagram ads on this account before, like for this brand? The reason being is, let's say, for example, if they haven't ran Facebook ads before, you've got a long setup ahead of you. Nah, I'm joking. But you need to set up the pixel. You need to set up the ad account if they don't have one already. Inside the ad account is the page. Inside the business manager, is the page, the ad account, and you've also got attached the Instagram as well. So the process steps for if someone has never run ads before is slightly long. So I do ask that because I do charge a setup fee. Obviously, if you are new to the space, you won't be worried about charging setup fees. It will just give you a clear idea of like, okay, this is what we've got to do to onboard. I'm going to send him the pack so he's completely clear. Also, make sure to ask them if they have a budget in mind for ads. The reason why I ask this is because, let's say, for example, if you're approaching a smaller brand, maybe they've only got 2K, 3K, the budget that you ideally want to be at absolute minimum for sales campaigns would be about $30, $35. So I make sure to ask them here, you know, can you commit to $30 a day? Is that something that's feasible to you? Because if it's not, we can't work at this time. If $30 is fine, obviously starting at $30, scaling up to $100, $150 a day, obviously upon making sales and getting that scaling done, is definitely feasible. If they cannot commit to over $30 or $30 per day, this is not a case where you'll be able to work for this client. I will get into their margins, understanding their break-even ROAS, understanding if it's something that I can keep them profitable. Let's say, for example, if, I don't know, a brand comes to you and their profit margin is $10. It's going to be impossible for you to run the ads whilst keeping them in a good profit standing. So therefore, they won't last with you for a long time because their profit is bad. I also do ask them as well, when are you wanting to start? So what's the time frame for this? When are we looking to onboard? When are you looking to get the ads live? This is just for me, so I know, okay, like I can map out in my head, okay, we can onboard on this date, we can start the ads on this date, etc., etc. Also, I do run through, not all of the time, but sometimes if they do ask, I run through case studies, I talk through my results, and I specifically break down what strategies I've previously used for clients that have worked well. Let's say, for example, if a client is in a similar niche to them, I'll break down on the screen, okay, so for this client, we did a cold conversions, we did a retargeting, that did 51x, or that did 5x, or whatever that looks like, just so they can get a clear understanding of A to B, what looking like working with me would be like for them, what working with me would be like for them, and what that would look like. And it also shows that I'm confident in the strats and the approach as well. I then give them the time on the call to basically ask me any questions they want. So I would usually open this by saying, look, is there anything front of mind that you feel like you want to clarify with me? Or is there anything, you know, that you want to ask me that's outstanding for you? Any concerns, any questions? Feel absolutely free. Okay, so then they'll give the chance to bounce a few questions off me. I'll ensure that before we wrap up this call, everything is 100% clear for them. They have no further questions. And then we'll basically talk about the payment side of things. usually in the Q&A, they'll ask in the Q&A, like the question and answer section where I give them that platform to speak. Platform to speak is crazy. I mean, like, give them that chance to ask me any questions. They'll basically ask me about payment. So this is where I, pitch to them as such about whatever it is. So let's say, for example, for me, it might be a 1.5K retainer that I pitch to them. I usually wouldn't really do that off rip. Sometimes not. It really depends on the scope of the project and the brand. But a lot of the time, it would just be a 15% of sales share. Obviously, I'll explain to them, okay, so it'll be 15% of sales. I'll explain the process. I'll explain why that's a benefit to them and why obviously the risk is on me, etc., all of that kind of thing. And obviously, I'll ask them, does that work for you? Stay silent, let them answer. If they do try and negotiate the percentage with me, which brands have, I will decline. For me personally, I'm not going lower than 15. There's just no point. And then, we'd have that conversation, close off that they're happy with the deal. And that would be take payment if it's a retainer, or if not, it would just be clarifying that I'll send over the contract, the Shopify access, etc., all in an onboarding pack for this client after the call, just so they can understand exactly what's expected of them, understand exactly what the next steps are, so we're all clear. I'd basically send over the onboarding pack, and I'd offer them a call if it would help them. Let's say, for example, if they're having trouble giving me the Facebook access or anything that might come up during the process. I'd also send them a contract to sign, and I'd also solidify the date that the ads are going to go live. One of the biggest questions that I get, like on my DMs or from people from the program or people in my Telegram, wherever, is do they need like a personal brand or a platform, etc., to start doing this? My answer honestly would be no, but it definitely does help. I'm going to use my account as an example right here, just to kind of break down why it's easier for me to kind of close or get leads, get inbounds, etc. Let's say, for example, here, so I've got a good little bit of social proof. I don't really prioritize growing my Instagram account. I'm very inconsistent. I hold my hands up, but 6.7K is not too bad. I've also got in my bio scaling brands with organic and paid advertisements, so people do know exactly what I do. I've also got my brand in the bio, so like my actual personal clothing brand. I've also got my agency account in there also. On my agency account, I've got a landing page with all my results. I've also got case studies of pretty much every single result I've got like in the past month on my agency page. There's so much proof of concept on there to share. Obviously, lifestyle has a big factor that plays into it. So for me, like, you can tell obviously on here what I like to do with my spare time, whatever. You can see me as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, you feel like you know me from my Instagram more so because I'm quite open on that, if that makes sense. So let's say, for example, you've got trips, you've got more lifestyle kind of things. You've got like brand shoots and stuff, which showcase that I actually have my own brand. I know, about the process that comes with having a brand, how to market a brand too, which is really good for trust. Again, my brand, again, trips, like, the amount of trips I've got on this page is bad, but like, it goes to show that my agency is really scaled. Like, I really do what I say I do. Do you know what I mean? It's more so a proof of concept side of things. So I feel like my Instagram does help. Obviously, let's not go too far down here, but overall my Instagram is quite trustworthy, I would say. Then moving on to the highlights side of things. So you can see here, this is more so for my coaching side of things, which I've recently done like a program. And it basically shows me getting results for other people, assisting people to get results, which then would obviously strengthen in turn the trust between me and the prospect. Again, I've got work obviously on here. I don't really tend to be really consistent with this, and I know I need to. Like, this highlight doesn't even start back that long ago. Oh, it does, 101 weeks. Let's say, for example, let me just go through all of this and showcase some results to you from like really recently, because that's what they'll be looking for on my story. So 4 weeks. Okay, so we did 1K, 5X. $4.50 cost per result. That's just stupid. 1K Monday, easy. $34 to 751. Again, $800 day. Every day we're making 2 racks, nearly 7X return. All of this showcases that I know exactly how to kind of run the ads. I'm confident in the strats. We did a 3K day here on a 6X return. And obviously here, Again, last 7 days we did 5K. So this just goes on and on and on. The more you have, the more trust you have. Again, here, this is more so lifestyle. I barely post lifestyle. Like, it's really bad. Like, I just can't be asked, to be honest, but it does help. So again, showcasing, I've got my own brand. Here's what I do. Again, just showcasing lifestyle and what, I'm doing as such, because the more you post about not like everything that you do, but the more you post about your lifestyle as such, the more they can resonate with you, like, as a real person. Because someone who's on a fake account, or pretending to be someone else, or is a scammer, etc., probably wouldn't tend to have this much social proof, if that makes sense. Again, here, like, you can see the process of, like, my personal clothing brand as well. And then you can see I've been in this space for a while, really trying to obviously showcase the full process of my brand. And you can see, like, even here, like, this is still business oriented stuff a long time ago. Like, this is very old stuff. But yeah, so all in all, it is important to have, a good Instagram page that showcases who you are, what you do, why they should trust you, and just common lifestyle. It doesn't really matter if you don't want to have 12K and like 30K and put your lifestyle all over Instagram. If you're not comfortable with that, you don't have to, because I don't want to post every single thing, on my Instagram. And even reels as well is another factor as well. So for me, I don't really put that much time into my reels. Again, I hold my hands up, but talking about what I do again here is very, very helpful. So 7K in a day. I need to be more consistent, obviously, going forward, but you can see that I really do have a brand, and I do what I say I do. Do you know what I mean? So, like, working on your brand for months and finally dropping, etc., etc. These are all related to running a brand, scaling a business, etc. They're all related to the same kind of things. Even this goes as far back as, bro, this is like way over a year ago now. I started posting way over a year ago just to kind of showcase what I get up to and stuff. And I've even been vlogging for like way over a year. Like 2 years. So yeah, it goes back a lot. This is very useful. And the next part of this, basically what I'm going to go over is how you're going to build out your first campaign and what that is going to look like. This is a full tutorial, so I'm going to show you everything from A to Z. So before we get into it, I'm going to run through the exact creatives that you can use and what they kind of look like. So let's say for a clothing brand, as an example right here, you can use an existing post, you can use an existing reel, you can also use something that you've made yourself on Photoshop. Like, I would suggest you guys get a little bit proficient with Photoshop. I mean, I never used it really till recently. And then I started kind of practicing with Photoshop, getting more proficient, getting more comfortable. And now I can make, semi-decent creatives for the prospect, which is important. They don't need to be the most crazy kind of creatives that you've ever seen in your life, but definitely add in, on bodies, flat lays together, also showcasing a clear offer would be very, very helpful. So moving on to how to do your first campaign. This is basically more so what's called a cold conversions campaign, a broad campaign, a prospecting campaign, whatever you want to call it. Basically, the purpose of this is more so that you can, let's say, for example, run to a wide audience before honing in on a specific audience to target. So this is what your ad account will look like. This is a completely fresh ad account for this client. This is the first time he's run ads, and I'm onboarding him today. So yeah, I'll show you guys step by step. Yours will probably look like this if you've never ran ads before. So you want to go over to the big green button, and you're going to have all these options that come up here in a sec. Your buying type you always want to have as auction over reservation. And you'll see awareness, traffic, engagement, and leads. Today we're going to be doing sales for the cold conversions or prospecting campaign. Traffic, engagement, and leads I'm also use for pre-drop ads, engagement ads, or let's say, for example, if you wanted to grow your SMS list, I definitely would opt for one of these three. And I do have like a full setup guide for each client that I do. So let's say, for example, we'll do a bit of pre-drop ads, the site will open, we'll transfer over to sales, and then from there, we'll just focus on collecting a lot of SMS signups. But for cold conversions, we're going to go directly to sales. So this option now comes up. You're going to see advanced shopping campaign. You're also going to see a manual sales campaign. We're going to opt for a manual sales campaign. Perfect. So this is the campaign level, this is the ad set level, and this is the ad. We're going to run through exactly what this should look like in a sec. So YSL, we're going to do cold conversions. Buying type auction again, campaign objective sales, advantage catalog ads needs to be off. Advantage campaign budget needs to be off. A/B and test, obviously you're not split testing, needs to be off. So now we're into the ad set level of the campaign. New ad set level. So what I typically do for this is just name it cold conversions, and we're going to leave it super broad. And we're going to do 18 to 65 in this instance. Sometimes for some brands, I do 18 to 28, maybe 18 to 35. But in this instance, I'm going to keep it super broad. So you want to make sure that it is website drive sales and conversions to your website selected here. And then you also want to do the performance goal. Obviously on here, there's a lot of different performance-based goals that you can do on here, but you always want to have maximized number of conversions if you're doing a sales campaign. The data set is basically what pixel you have on this ad account. We need to use the pixel that is connected to this ad account here, which is IF pixel. Conversion event, again, we're going to have a lot of different ones to choose from. A lot of people make the mistake of clicking add to cart. You do not want to click add to cart because that will warrant people just carting and not buying. You want people to come through to the website, but you also want them to make that purchase. It's inactive because this is the first time he's run ads. For someone that's run ads before, it should be active events. But yeah, we're going to click on purchase. And now this will come up. Let's say, for example, if you've never run ads before, or you haven't run ads in a while, your ad may not be optimized for conversions because we haven't received any activity in 14 days. This is absolutely fine. This is not a problem whatsoever. Cost per result goal, that's when you're using cost caps and bid caps. We don't need to do this at this stage. And then a dynamic creative we would want to keep off. Budget, as I said earlier in the video, you want to be doing $30. This is AUD. My client's in Australia, so let me just work out the currency difference for that. You want to be doing $30 absolute minimum. USD. $30 USD is about $48 AUD. I'm going to whack that on 50 just because it makes more sense. And then, yeah, this is where it gets to the audience controls. So let's say, for example, if you're based in the US, instead of having Australia on here, you could quite easily target United States. So let's say if I wanted to target United States, when you have your client, I would definitely recommend targeting not like their country that they're based in, but the country that they get the most amount of sales in. So I had an AU client this week, and we didn't target Australia at all. We targeted United States. We also targeted the UK, and we also targeted Japan. This guy here, the client I've got right now, he predominantly targets Australia, so I'm going to leave it at Australia, and it will be countrywide. Advantage plus audience. Always want to switch back to original audience options at this stage. And this is pretty much here where you can select custom audiences. We're not going to do that today, but you can. And you can also look at the age range of who you want to show this ad to. And you also want to look at the gender. So if this was a female-based product, you could target solely females. If it was a male-based product, you could target solely males. Advantage detailed targeting, we're not going to use this today. This is used in other strategies, but we don't need to touch that at all right now. For here, it's placements. So this is basically advantage plus placements is essentially where Meta would choose where your ads shall be placed. Today, we're not going to do that. We're going to use manual placements. I typically don't use advantage plus placements anyways, me personally. This is now where it comes to the point where you need to choose which platform that you are going to be running ads on. So the way I kind of do this is I'll objectively look at the product. I will then understand, okay, Facebook, is the audience really going to be on Facebook who's shopping for this product? In this situation with this prospect, it will not. So we're going to remove Facebook, we're going to remove audience network, and we're also going to remove Messenger. This means that we're going to be solely advertising on Instagram placements. So Instagram feed, Instagram Reels, Instagram Explore page, and any other Instagram placements that they do have on here. So all of the setup side of things is pretty much now done. This is as hard as it gets with regards to setting up the campaign level and setting up the ad set level. So now we set up the cold conversions on the ad set level and also the campaign level. Now we're going to get into the exciting bit, which is creating the creatives. So new sales ad. Now, the main way that I would name this is, let's say, for example, I would do, number one, I would do uploaded image. Now, I'm not going to show everything to do with the existing posts, reels, etc., because I don't want to showcase my client in a specific video today. But I'm going to show an uploaded image as an example. And I haven't built out creatives for this client yet, but I'll pretty much showcase what they possibly could look like. So uploaded image, and I would also put the date. So it's the 23rd of December today, 23rd of the 12th. And that's just so I know when I've set that live. So I'm not like, oh my God, how many days ago, how many days has this been running for? I can clearly see. Identity, you want to have the Facebook page there, the Instagram account there. Make sure that they match up. Manual upload, Advantage Plus catalog ads, you want to be on manual upload, and the format it honestly doesn't really matter what you do. I could personally go for carousel or a single image or video. In this situation, for time purposes, I'm just going to do a single image. And then, so you want to click here and say set up creative, and then you want to click image ad. So this is where you want to do the primary text. So this is just a random primary text that I just threw together. Usually I'd spend a lot of time and I'd probably optimize it because I put the 5, I do 5 out of 5 for primary text. Headline I'm going to leave blank, and the call to action for sales you would always want to put as shop now. Next. Perfect. For reference, I'm going to use like a random image from my brand in this case, just so I can show you guys the process of what this looks like without showing the brand. So you want to then click this PNG photo that we've got here, and then you want to click next. Make sure that this always makes sense. So in this situation, original works, but then also the 9-16 actually looks better. So here is where you have the music on, all optimizations on, and then I turn it off just so it's easier, so I'm not having to do it all at once. Then you want to click done, and this is basically a preview of what your ad shall look like. 40% off site-wide sales, you can see the primary text name. Then you can also see a preview of what this would look like. Again, you don't have to do the headline right now for this process, and then you can also have a shop now button here, and then you can also have Advantage Plus creative off. This here is obviously where you want to put the website in. So let's say, for example, this is my brand again. Burner Studios. Go to that specific product, and I would link that through rather than the whole website. So let's say, for example, in this situation, Realtree track pants, we click through to the Realtree track pants right here. This site is slow as hell. I'm dropping soon, I need to fix it. Then I go back here and I basically paste this in. And then the shop now call to action should come up on the screen. Yeah, shop now. Perfect. But this is really as simple as it is to set up the cold conversions campaign. Obviously, typically what you would want to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5, 6 creatives, 4 to 6 creatives, I'd probably say around that. And then from there, pretty much you can start the ads. I would say utilize everything possible. So let's say, for example, a normal campaign, let's say, for example, so cold conversions broad, which has an existing reel, an existing post, and also maybe a post that you've made on Photoshop and a second post that you've made on Photoshop, just so you can split test basically everything. Maybe reels work better for this brand, or maybe, let's say, for example, still images work better. It differs per brand, and it also differs per product, so you're always going to be testing something new. So oftentimes people ask what you need, let's say, for example, to onboard the client, what you need access to, etc., what that would look like. The main way that you're going to get access to, let's say, for example, the client's Shopify would be being a Shopify partner. So as a full list, what you need access to would be the client's Facebook account. You also need access to the Shopify, and you also need to send them over a contract, and you also need to get a Google Drive of all of the images of their products to send directly to you, so you can then utilize all of the images that you've got, make creatives, and mock up different types. To get access to the Shopify, I'm going to show you a super quick tutorial. So you want to become a Shopify partner. Basically what this means is that you can become a Shopify partner, and you can get access to client stores for absolutely £0. Usually it's a cost, and they have to pay, I can't remember what it is exactly, but they have to pay a fee to enable you to obviously come on as staff. So you'd basically be inside your Shopify partner dashboard, and then you want to click request access to stores. So you would put the store's URL, whatever that may be, at myshopify.com, right? Let's say, for example, obviously this is not going to be a real one, but paste your client's URL into here. Then you want to basically go through and select what permissions that you need. I would typically go for home orders so I can cross-reference and see if they've come from the ads. I would also go through to products. I would also go through to reports, dashboards, marketing, discounts as well. Manage and install apps as well, because you never know what you might have to deal with. You might have to do their pixel. They might have pixel issues. You might want to tweak their website, so have theme, edit theme code. And also sometimes I would go for manage settings and checkout. Checkout more so as if we need to make a few different arrangements to the checkout because it's not converting. Then obviously what you would want to do is when you paste typically your client store URL into here, it should come up with something underneath that says a collaborator code, and your client will need to go into their settings and go to user settings, users and permissions, and it'll be under collaborator code. And basically what you can do is put in the code, the 4-digit code that they give you. It will be store URL, and then it will come up with this store requires a collaborator code. And then you'll want to put that 4-digit code in. After you've done all of the above, you can scroll down and then you can request access to the store with the green button right there. There are genuinely so many things that play into the fact of, is this going to be successful with this client? You need to have a good product. You need to have a high converting website. You need to have a good offer. You need to have good creatives. The list goes on. So for example of what a good website looks like, sometimes you're going to deal with clients, you're going to sign clients and the websites might not be the best. So you might need to give them a quick jazz up on the website, change a few things, or do them a full website rebuild. This is my personal brand, and pretty much, obviously it looks like shit because it's on desktop rather than phone, but this is more so what your client's page should have. So we're going to run through that real quick. Track Pants Restock Live, we've got on-body images, high quality images. We've also got little things like this, 90% of orders ship same day. What I've also got as well, which I really like, is the FAQ section. So do you ship overseas? How long will it take to get my order? These are important questions that people would want to know that could stop them from purchasing. Every bit of question that they could possibly have, I've already got answered on my site, which then means that they have no reason not to purchase. Again, free shipping, customer service, sale and soon. There's so many incentives here to buy. Menu, obviously in here, I've got all my policies. You need all of your legal policies set up properly. Privacy policy, refund, shipping, terms of service, contact us. I've then also got a help bot here, so if they do need help, if they want to track their message, I can respond directly to them. There's so much help, there's so much questions that have been answered here, there's no reason for them not to purchase. Track my order again here, so they've got the option to put in their order number and phone number and track, or just do their tracking number and track this order here. It takes you directly through to here. When you do run the ads, what you do want to have is sending it directly to the page. So sending it directly to the product page, so the funnel is shorter. Good product pictures, always on a white background. Then we've got showcasing on body, and then we've got 2 different body types, like 2 different people inside the item. And then we've also got the measurements for the product, so there's no questions on what size shall I get, oh, I don't know what size to get, then they don't cop. I've also got a bundle deal as well, which is a very good thing that you can introduce for your clients. So you could get buy 2, get 20% off, you get a bundle deal. So you have a small, whatever, you buy 2, you get a discount. So this is more so a bigger discount than you would if you're buying 2. So then that's what this would look like in the cart. Let me just remove this. You're getting it for, this is all messed up because I changed the price and whoops. But yeah, you're getting it for £71. Obviously that was a reduced price to £49.99. So £20 off, basically. And this at the cart, you're eligible for free shipping. Perfect. Again, you've got free shipping, customer service, sale ends soon to reiterate the reasons why they should buy. I've got a contact page as well, so they know that they can obviously ask any questions. And I've also got a 45% off ends today. So I've got the incentive to buy now, but I've also got a scarcity period as well. This is the other products that we have had too. So pink track pants, khaki, road tree, and all of the rest. Some are still in stock right now, but I'm planning a new drop soon. I'm thinking of redoing the website as well and possibly changing up a few bits, making this even better than it is right now. But shop the look. This is an example of a high converting website for sure. Shout out one of my mentees for this. Basically, he made like a Dropbox full of creators that he's seen that he thought were really good. So shout out Jojo for that. He's fucking ripping with his clients at the moment. But yeah, anyways, basically, this is more so what the creatives would look like. And I'm going to break them down for you guys here. And I'm going to show you exactly why these creatives are good. This one is a brilliant creative right here. So we got 10% off sale. So we've got an exact incentive, 10%. And we've also got the code right here. This shows multiple different people inside the piece, so the viewer can envision themselves in the piece more so. 10% off again, you've got on body, and you've also got flat lay as well, which is very, very nice. Looking at some other examples as well here. 50% off. Hurry, Dominion just dropped an epic 48-hour sale. On body, flat lays, you can see absolutely everything you need about this piece. Let's use this as an example. Save 30% off now. Incentive to buy it now. You want to buy it now. On body, showcasing, honing in on the details of the product and just showing how good that product is and why they need it. Another good one is this. Incentive for scarcity. 40% off site-wide ends tonight. They've set a time frame for this, knowing. So when someone views this ad, they know that they need to buy right now. They've also got close-ups of the specific aspects of the product that is desirable for the people. So they've got an on body. They've also honed in on the specific aspects that are more selling towards this product. You've also got in the also called primary text, 300 DSM, pure cotton, durability, etc. The reasons why the person would want to buy this. Use this as an example. 25% off. We've got a load of different pictures here. Flat lay on body, we've got the nice effect here, which is quite cool, and we've got a clear big offer. So anyone that views this ad knows that there is 25% off, limited time only, 25% off. And this is more people wearing the product on body as well as flat lays, and just a range of images is really, really trustworthy. So guys, I've tried to run through pretty much everything I can in this video without making it crazy too long. But yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, obviously about freelance brand scaling, about anything specific to do with what we've spoken about today, let me know. Hit my DM. My Instagram is ysocaitlin. Feel free to hit my DM with absolutely any questions, or comment down below. I'll be responding to absolutely every question we get. More videos coming soon, more tutorial based videos coming soon, more lifestyle videos coming soon. Drop me down in the comments what you want to see me do, if there's anything else you want to see me cover. And I'm going to be super consistent on YouTube. But one last reminder, obviously, before the video ends, is be consistent. Don't ever think that, there's something in the space that you can't do. Don't ever look at, a certain brand and think, oh, they'd never respond to me, or nah, it's unlikely that they would respond, or nah, I'm not good enough to run their ads, or anything like that. And if you're ever at a point like where you're sending out DMs, and you feel like you're not getting any replies, stay consistent. Because there's so many people in my shoes who had that same situation, or someone who's on my program who had that same situation. Cooper, as I mentioned before. Shout out Cooper for being super fucking consistent. Like, that's one way to win, is show up every day, outreach every day, and he landed a 139k client. Like, you put in that work daily, you will get that reward back. Just do not quit and don't give up. But any questions, obviously hit my DM. Subscribe, like if you found this video helpful, and hit me a DM on Instagram. I'll pick up absolutely every DM with a voice note, and I'll answer every question.